At the start of the drama, the female lead, Chai begins to peel onions when blood starts coming from her nose. She goes to the doctor and asks, "Should I have the operation again?" The doctor tells Chai, "Your heart has become weak. It cannot bear the operation." Chai asks, "Am I going to die?" To this, the doctor does not give any answer. Chai says, "It means my heart can stop at any time. My luck is just bad that I got such a miserable life, and it is also about to end." On the way, a woman gives a paper to Chai and says, "Doomsday is coming. Therefore, make your soul immortal." Chai asks, "Can't the person above do this work a little faster?" The lady asks, "What do you mean?" Chai says, "What about those who are going to die before doomsday? This is cheating for them. Tell them to bring doomsday a little sooner." The woman says, "What can I do in this? Whatever happens, happens by the will of God." Chai says, "Then what should I do? I also want to see everything being destroyed. What sin have I committed for which I am getting this punishment?" The lady tries to get rid of her. Chai chases everyone away from there. Then Chai is sitting on the road crying when a child asks her, "Have you ever eaten blue ice cream?" Chai snatches the ice cream from him, eats it, and tells him, "Now I have eaten it," and walks away. The child starts crying for his ice cream, so the drama's male lead, Li Yan, comes and quiets the child by giving him a lollipop. A man tells Li Yan, "Chai is famous in the city by the name Upside Down Head. If you want your own well-being, stay far away from her." In the next scene, at night, a man slips and falls into the water while passing by. He stands up shaking his hands. He sees that something is on his hands. Then suddenly, he commits suicide right there. In the next scene at City Hall, a man in an office looks at some pictures showing that people are disappearing. Then Sion comes and tells Li Yan about a place where a lot of trash has accumulated and tells him to go and investigate. Li Yan checks it and tells him an investigation has already taken place there. Sion then starts to show authority over Li Yan and says, "Check carefully, otherwise I will complain about you to your senior." Li Yan asks, "I have many seniors, and to whom will you complain?" Sion is left speechless. An old man sitting there watches Li Yan. In the next scene, Li Yan is eating when that man comes to him and says, "Be careful here. As peaceful as this area looks, it is not. Now that you live here, you will realize the truth. Every day, people are disappearing from here, just like 30 years ago. At that time, many children and adults disappeared from here, of whom no trace was found. So stay alert. I am telling you because you are new here. Everything that happened here 20 years ago, I saw it all." When that man goes to his home, the same woman who talked about making the soul immortal arrives and gives the old man a paper to become immortal. But the old man crushes the paper and throws it away. Just then, things around him start flying in the air. The old man is surprised, so the woman tells him, "Believe me, only then will your soul become immortal." In the next scene, Chai asks her grandmother for money to go traveling, but she refuses. Chai breaks her piggy bank and takes out money, saying, "Before dying, I will definitely travel to at least one place," and starts leaving secretly after packing. Then her grandmother's servant, Robin, sees her. Chai tells him to remain quiet and leaves. Chai goes to a store to buy some things where Li Yan bumps into her, and 2 knives fall from Chai's hand. Li Yan becomes suspicious of Chai. Chai comes out of the store and her suitcase breaks. She sees the old man's trolley, so she starts putting her suitcase in the trolley. Just then, Li Yan arrives and, suspecting Chai is a serial killer, asks about the old man. "Where is that man?" Chai tells him, "I don't know where that man is." Li Yan grabs her suitcase, and in the struggle, the suitcase opens and all the things scatter. Seeing all those things, Li Yan is embarrassed, but Chai gets angry and hits Li Yan in the face with a teddy bear. Chai gets a call from grandmother, so she starts talking to her. Li Yan closes her suitcase and comes to Chai. Chai tells grandmother, "Wait a minute," and takes Li Yan's number saying, "My lawyer will call you and make you compensate for my loss," and tells him to go. When he leaves, Chai asks grandmother the reason for calling. Grandmother says, "It is raining outside. You will catch a cold. Come home quickly." Chai asks grandmother, "Why don't you let me go traveling?" Grandmother says, "In such a condition, how can I let you go?" Grandmother tells her, "You have been sick since childhood. You were a very lovely child, laughing and playing. I just want to see you like that again." Chai says that Chai died a long time ago. Grandmother says, "Don't say such ominous things. Such things come true." Chai says to herself, "Whatever happens, my death is certain." Chai goes to Robin's house. Sion is also there, so Chai asks both of them to help her, but they refuse. Then Chai tells both of them, "I will give you 5 million. So both of them agree. Li Yan's landlady comes to him and says, "A phone call came from the people downstairs saying that you are making noise. You live alone, but why do you make so much noise?" Li Yan apologizes to her and says, "This will not happen in the future." All the items in his house are scattered. There is a file in his bag, which he starts to read. Then Li Yan goes to the place where the old man used to live. He finds a paper near his cart, which was given to the old man by the woman for making the soul immortal. In the next scene, the old man is shown in a lab where there is a human-like thing that was experimented on. On the other side, Ro Bin and Seon have tied Chai Ni and are recording a video in which Chai Ni tells grandmother, "Give the kidnappers 10 million, they will release me." After the recording, Ro Bin and Seon start watching the footage, but during that time, Chai Ni dies. When both turn towards Chai Ni, they find her dead and panic. Grandmother calls Chai Ni. She does not pick up, so grandmother calls someone and tells them to find her location. Ro Bin and Seon take Chai Ni's body near a pile of trash to hide it. Just then, Li Yan arrives and asks, "Who is there?" Li Yan recognizes Seon and asks him, "What are you doing here? First, you complain about those who throw trash, and now you have come here yourself to dump trash." Seon says, "You are from City Hall? I take my complaint back. Now just go." Li Yan asks, "What is behind you?" Both panic, and Chai Ni's body falls from their feet into the water below. Li Yan goes down to see, so those two also go down running. Li Yan sees Chai Ni and says, "You came here to dump a body?" Seon says, "I will tell you everything. We did a fake kidnapping, and she died just sitting there." Just then, Ro Bin notices that Chai Ni is gone. All three start searching for Chai Ni's body. Li Yan asks both, "Do you have any other partner?" Both say, "No, we have no other partner." Li Yan starts to call the police, so both stop him, but the call to the police station has already been made. The policeman asks, "Is this Li Yan? Are you in some trouble?" "We are coming." The police arrive. Li Yan tells them, "These two came here to hide a girl's body." The policeman asks, "Where's the body?" Li Yan says, "Their third partner hid it. When we were arguing, it suddenly disappeared." The policeman asks, "Are you talking about that girl who is standing behind you?" Li Yan sees her and says, "Yes, it is the same girl," and then starts looking at Chai Ni in shock. Seon says, "This is Chai Ni." Ro Bin sees her and faints. In the next scene, Li Yan returns to the same place where Chai Ni's bag items were scattered, and at that time, Li Yan had fixed a knife and scissors into the ceiling with his power. Then he fixes the broken pipe with his power and leaves. In the next scene, Jun Mo, who is grandmother's student, calls her and tells her Chai Ni's location. Chai Ni is on Jeju Island. Grandmother says, "How can this be possible? She hasn't left the city since the age of 7. The man says, "It is possible her phone might have malfunctioned." Kim Jong-bok checks Chai Ni's belongings and the passport is also there. Then Jun Mo gets a call. He tells grandmother that her phone was indeed malfunctioning and now it is showing her location again. In the next scene, Seon, Ro Bin, and Li Yan are at the police station. The policeman asks Li Yan, "You said these people were hiding a body?" So Seon says, "Whose body? We had gone there for surveillance and my foot slipped. I have complained 1,000 times, but the government was not doing anything, so we thought this time we would catch the litterers red-handed." The policeman asks Li Yan, "What do you have to say?" Li Yan says, "Maybe I had a misunderstanding." The policeman then released them. In the next scene, Chai Ni is in the hospital. Seon and Ro Bin are also sitting with her eating. Ro Bin tells Chai Ni, "I thought you died." Chai Ni says, "I felt something like that too because I saw some strange things." She had seen a woman who looks like grandmother telling her to come out, and she was saying, "Come with me quickly, you will be saved." Ro Bin says, "You were only half dead. When you are not dead, it's like one foot is in this world and one foot is in the other." Chai Ni says, "I died and yet I didn't, meaning I was on the border. I didn't get a visa, so they sent me back." Seon asks, "Does your grandmother know that you are in the hospital?" Chai Ni says, "Don't let her find out. She was previously a thug here, Kim Jong-bok." Seon tells Chai Ni, "If you trap me again in your fake kidnapping or your fake death scheme, no one will be worse than me." Just then, grandmother arrives. Chai Ni says, "She heard everything. Run." All three start running. Chai Ni hides in a wardrobe, and she hears some sounds. When she opens her eyes, she is in another world where there are people of olden times and criminals are being punished. Grandmother tells Chai Ni to come out, but she does not. So grandmother looks in the wardrobe in anger, but Chai Ni is not there. When she closes it and opens it again, Chai Ni appears in front of her. Grandmother asks, "Where were you hiding?" Chai Ni asks grandmother, "Am I visible?" Grandmother tells her to come out in anger. Chai Ni cries and says, "Grandmother, I am seeing strange things." On grandmother's asking, she is unable to explain, but Li Yan, standing outside, hears all this. In the next scene, the old man asks a woman, "Whom are you searching for?" "I don't know anything about the eternity child, but at that time some children were saved from the fire. Out of them, I saved one. Now that child has grown up. He did not recognize me at all, but I recognized him. 3,972 was definitely that same child. That woman tells the old man to eat and then disappears. Then an experiment lab is shown where some children are brought and their blood is taken. All those children have special powers. Due to the power of child 3972, every item in the room starts flying in the air, because of which a child gets hurt. That child tells child 3972, "Don't worry about me, I can never die," and tells him to focus on his power. So child 3972 focuses and pulls a book towards himself with his power. Just then, Li Yan's eyes open, and every item in his room is flying. The doctor is surprised after seeing Chinese reports. He tells her grandmother, "Chinese reports have come back completely fine. Chinese has become perfectly healthy. A miracle has happened in Chinese life." Then grandmother takes out a box in the house and tells the lab director, "I have to talk to you about something important." On the other side, Sion makes fun of Robin and leaves, so Robin kicks him in anger. Then when Sion puts his hand on the refrigerator while talking to his wife, his hand sticks to it. He is trying to release his hand, but it will not release. His wife comes out and asks him, "Why are you making noise?" So he makes an excuse, I was exercising. Robin looks at the wall of his house. Due to his kick, a hole has formed in it, seeing which he remains surprised. The next day, grandmother brings food for Chinese. Chinese asks grandmother, "What did the doctor say?" He must have given some bad news. Grandmother tells her, "The doctor said that you are completely fine, and he said that this is a miracle. From now on, live your life openly," and tells her, "You wanted to go traveling? Go travel the whole world, but with your own money." Cheney asks, "How will I afford the expenses just by peeling onions?" Grandmother places a passport and ticket in front of her. Cheney becomes happy, but grandmother says, "There is one condition." She gives a sticker sheet and says, "You have to fill this up." Cheney says, "All small children do this, but now I have grown up." Grandmother says, "If you have grown up, then pay for the travel yourself too." Cheney says, "No," and gets ready to fill the sticker sheet. A woman comes and tells Cheney, "A boy has come to meet you." Cheney and Robin come out, and it is Li Yan. Cheney asks him, "What business do you have with me? Why have you come here?" Li Yan asks her, "How many times have you died?" Cheney is surprised by his words. Li Yan says, "Did you die for the first time yesterday, or have you died before as well?" Cheney asks Robin, "Has he also received a head injury?" Robin says, "No, this is the same person who told the police that we were dumping a body when you were half dead." Cheney tells Li Yan, "You not only ruined my belongings, but also troubled my friends." Li Yan says, "I did this for you so that your body could be found." Cheney says, "Whom did you call a body? Do I look like a corpse to you?" He says, "Until yesterday you did." Cheney says, "I was not dead. Understand?" He says, "Then what was that?" Cheney says, "That is a secret." Li Yan says, "So, will you not tell me your secret?" Cheney says, "If I tell you the secret, then it won't remain a secret anymore." He says, "Have you heard the name Wonderkinder?" Cheney says, "How would I have heard it? My grandmother cooks food. Ask her." Robin says, "Why are you troubling us? We said nothing happened yesterday." Cheney says, "Yes, nothing happened." Li Yan says, "Fine. Since you're saying so, I believe you," and leaves. Robin says, "If he finds out about the kidnapping, what will we do?" Cheney says, "He has no proof. Do you have my suitcase and camera?" Robin says, "They are in the greenhouse." Cheney asks, "Did you delete that video?" Robin says, "We both lost our senses because you had died." Cheney starts running to go to the greenhouse. Robin calls Seon and tells him this. So Seon sits in the car saying, "I am coming." As Chinese is going, Li Yan starts following her. But someone is also following Li Yan. Li Yan says, "There is only one way to find out whether she can die and come back to life or not. I will have to kill her and see." Li Yan tries to kill Cheney, but someone always comes in between. Then Li Yan thinks, what if she actually dies? In the meantime, Cheney sees him and starts running. Li Yan follows her. Then Cheney goes into the greenhouse. Li Yan reaches there. A man has Cheney's suitcase and camera. Li Yan takes that camera from him. Cheney is searching for the camera, so Li Yan starts breaking the greenhouse with his power. Sion also arrives and sees all this. While Cheney is trying to escape, she suddenly teleports to another place. Li Yan removes all the debris of the greenhouse and looks, but Cheney is not there. Cheney's location shows in the Sea of China. Cheney is in a boat where some people start shooting at her. In the next scene, the laboratory director, Nam Sun, goes to meet Dr. Ha in jail. Seeing the Bible in his hand, Nam Sun says, "Since when did you become so religious?" So he says, "All religions are just a fraud. All religions trap people with words and dress death as liberation. This is all a lie. But I am truthful. I have truly achieved it." Nam Sun asks, "Where is that child now? If you believe in that child so much, then prove it." This is your last chance to prove yourself. I am getting you bail. Dr. Ha says, you will have to trust me, only then will you benefit. On the other side, Li Yan starts searching everywhere to find out whether Chai Ni is dead or alive, but she is nowhere to be found. Suddenly, Chai Ni teleports and goes inside a yacht in the sea. The people there see her and start firing, therefore she shockingly teleports away and appears in front of Li Yan again. She is shocked to be back. Then she looks at her jacket. There is a hole in it from a bullet. Then she goes near Li Yan and he pushes her away. Chai Ni feels herself floating in the air and smiles. Kim Pao also sees all this. He goes back to the lab and tells Ho Ran and Ju Ran about this. I have seen Li Yan. He has also come back here. Ho Ran says, why has he come back here? Did you ask him? He says, I think he is also in search of something. Has Papa included him in the plan too? Ho Ran says, this is not possible. Ju Ran says, I will find out. Until then, both of you keep quiet. Just then, Dr. Ha, whom these people consider their father, arrives, so they become quiet. In the next scene, when Chai Ni opens her eyes, she is in Ro Bin's room. Seeing the hole in his wall, she asks, how did this happen? So he says, I threw something with a light hand. I don't understand how it tore through the wall and went to the other side. Then she asks, how did I get here? So he says, Sion left you here because you fainted in the greenhouse. She stands up and looks at her jacket again. There is a hole in it. She then tells Robin, listen to me, I didn't die halfway. Instead, I teleported. Robin is shocked after hearing this. In the next scene, when Sion is cleaning a flower pot, his hand gets stuck. Just then, Chai Ni and Robin also arrive and tell him, strange things are happening with you too, right? He says, what do you mean? She says, Robin made a hole in the wall with a kick, and I teleported repeatedly. Seon says, don't tell me your useless nonsense. Chai Ni says, you tell me, are you okay? So he says, I am perfectly fine. He starts to go, but his feet stick to the ground. Robin says in surprise, it means this is happening to all three of us. Has someone cast black magic on us? Chai Ni says, this is not magic. Instead, it is a kind of power. Sion says, it is not power. It is punishment. You two don't tell this to anyone else, otherwise we might get into trouble. Then he tells her, that day, Li Yan was going to kill you. Hearing this, Chai Ni reaches Li Yan's office. He ignores her, but Chai Ni says to him, what did you try to do to me in the greenhouse? Before I tell the police anything, I want to hear it from your mouth. He says, I don't know what you are talking about. She says, have you forgotten? You, with your own hands? All the office people are shockingly listening to her words. Li Yan stops Chai Ni and says, I cannot help you with anything. He tells her to go, but she starts ringing the bell repeatedly. Finally getting annoyed, Li Yan starts leaving for outdoor work. Outside, Seon and Ro Bin are sitting in the car. As soon as Li Yan and Chai Ni come out behind him, she immediately sits in the car and tells them to follow Li Yan. On the other side, Chai Ni's grandmother finds out about the suicide of an old director of the lab. Therefore, she comes to his house. There, the servant tells her, before committing suicide, he had written a note in which your name is mentioned. She reads that note in which he had written about Dr. Ha. He is innocent. We people are making a mistake. Therefore, you two should apologize to Dr. Ha. We see in a flashback that Dr. Ha himself had made the director write this note. Then, he asks about a child. Ju Ran puts the pressure of her power on the director and tells him to tell the truth. He whispers something in Dr. Ha's ear and then commits suicide. Then we see a past scene in the lab with a fire. Children are running everywhere. Rescue teams have also arrived. After extinguishing the fire, something is found that causes the lab to be closed, and Dr. Ha, who worked there, is put in jail because he used to experiment on orphanage children. In the present, some police officers come inside to check the lab, which has now become a church due to some people disappearing. So Ho-Ran changes everything inside the church with her power, so the police officers do not have even a bit of suspicion. But while going back, an officer thinks, why am I sweating so much? There, Chai Ni and her companions have stopped Li Yan. Sion asks him, will the government pay us for what is happening to us? For this reason, Li Yan stands up. So Chai Ni says, will you push me again? Ro Bin says, oh, if he pushes you, you will wake up the day after tomorrow. She says, let him try to kill me and show, does he have so much courage? Li Yan says, please forgive me, and starts going. But Chai Ni snatches his bag and goes inside the car, because of which Li Yan also has to go with them. Then Chai Ni tells him, teach us to control our power. He says, sorry, I cannot help you people with anything. They then start putting him out of the car. He requests, don't do this. Just then, a police car accident happens. Due to the chemicals in that area, a police officer becomes a zombie. Now those people put those two out of the car. Sion's hand gets stuck to that car. The cars are on fire. Therefore, Chai Ni tells Li Yan to help. So Li Yan throws Robin away with his power, but Sion is still stuck to the car. He tells Robin, don't worry about me. Nothing will happen to me. Chae-ni comes running again to help him, but she teleports and disappears. So Robin pulls him again, and the part of the car he was stuck to also comes off. Then Robin picks up Seon and brings him to the side. Just then, Chae-ni arrives there, and seeing them both fine, she is very happy. In the next scene, Lee Yan looks at some papers in which he finds out that everything is happening in that same church. In the next scene, Chae-ni, thinking that because they helped the policeman, they will get a reward, comes to the government hospital. But after arriving there, they find out that they were not brought there at all. All three are shocked. We had sent them in ambulance vans, Seon says. Then those same people have taken them who want to hide the truth? Chae-ni says. If they find out about us, will they take us too? Robin says, I am feeling very scared. In the next scene, Lee Yan comes out of the library when Kim Pal comes in front of him and tells him, outsiders are forbidden to come here. To which Kim Pal says, sometimes it happens that some people wander from their path and go to such a place where no one needs them. This becomes the reason for their death. A fight is about to happen between them, but Lee Yan's colleague sees him and assigns some work. Therefore, he starts going. Kim Pal says to him, did Papa call you to this city? He says, despite so much happening, you call that man Papa? He says, I was useless and weak, whom no one knew. Only he gave me an identity and made me Kim Pal. He needed me. Lee Yan says, he only needed a weapon. I don't know what Dr. Ha wants this time, but you stay away from me. Kim Pal says, we all are going to gather people like ourselves and do something new. We all are called Wonder Killers because we are magical children. In the next scene, Lee Yan is working when Chae-ni arrives and tells him about the police officers not being in the hospital. Where have they disappeared? Will the same happen with us? Lee Yan says, please don't disturb me. If you don't want to be caught, stop shouting like a mad person. She asks, these powers won't end, will they? I have come back after nearly dying. Since then, I have been perfectly healthy. I want more information about my power. No one besides you can understand me. If this power goes away, will I die? Just then, Lee Yan's female colleague arrives, so he tells Chae-ni to leave. She says, until you answer my questions, I will not go. So he tells her to keep quiet, saying, you will get me caught like this. Just then, Chae-ni teleports and disappears. Now, after that girl leaves, Lee Yan sees that Chae-ni is stuck to the ceiling. He brings her down and she says, your power is absolutely real. Your power will not go away. He says, I too was saved while dying for the first time. And then superpowers came into me. In the next scene, Chae-ni is going happily when Kim Pal follows her. Lee Yan sees this from the rooftop. He is about to kill him, but Lee Yan catches him and takes him into a room. Then he calls Chae-ni and offers her a city hall job, which makes her very happy. Then she reaches Lee Yan's office the very next day. He gives her a uniform, seeing which she is very excited. She also calls her grandmother and tells her, because of which she is also very happy. In the next scene, Ju-ran remembers when Papa had put a hearing device in her ears. She says, for the first time in life, I heard a voice. That was the beginning of my story, but this story did not have a happy ending. We see in a flashback that due to the fire in the lab, the building was also crashing and falling. Papa also came under a stone. Just then, Kim Pal lifts that stone with his power, after which Ju-ran hugs Papa. He tells them, everything will be fine. Then I will find you all. Until then, you all stay hidden. Then the police arrest Papa. Ju-ran says, we decided we would wait for our Papa to return while hiding our identities. After coming out of jail, Dr. Ha finds those three. Then he tells them to find that child. Only then will our happy ending happen. In the next scene, Dr. Ha tells Chae-ni's grandmother, I put a lot of effort in your project. Then finally I was successful. Even then, you made me a sinner in everyone's eyes. Grandmother says, the money was not spent to make you successful. Instead, it was spent for these children. He says, by thinking this, you calm your conscience. After the accident, you gave shelter to many children. Where are they all? So grandmother says, people adopted them. Dr. Ha says, then where is the eternity child? Whom do you think it is? Grandmother does not say anything, so Ju-ran uses her power. Then grandmother says, he died. Dr. Ha says, he cannot die. Then we see in a flashback that Lee Yan sees that the director is giving a lot of pain to that child. Therefore, he tells the director to stop all this. No one listens to him, but with Lee Yan's power, every item starts breaking, after which a fire breaks out in the lab. In the next scene, Lee Yan is working on site when Chae-ni, Robin, and Seon arrive, and she calls him Master. Seon says, now you will give us training, right? Chae-ni says, Master, the two of you are a perfect match. I am your staunch fan. Lee Yan forbids talking about all this in public. Then church people come and tell Lee Yan, we all will also help you in cleaning this place. Lee Yan does not feel good about it, so he takes Chae-ni, Robin, and Seon with him. Robin says, so you will give us training in private? Li Yan says, I am not giving you any training, but if you three want to live a good life, you will have to hide your power. If those people find out, you will never be able to meet your family. Those people will separate you from everyone. You will have to control your power yourself because everyone's powers are different. Therefore, you all try to understand by using your power when and how you can use it. Until you all do this, stay closed in this place. In the next scene, an experiment has been performed on a person inside the church, but the result is negative. Therefore, that person's condition worsens. Dr. Ha gives the order to finish him. Therefore, that man is put into a chemical tank and killed, by which his body is disposed of. On the other side, Cheney's grandmother does not remember any conversation with Dr. Ha because Ju-ren deletes her memory. Therefore, she tells someone to find out about this, who shows her footage in which Dr. Ha, Kim Pal, and Ju-ren are inside the car. Kim Pal sees Cheney and says she keeps roaming around with Li Yan, so Dr. Ha gives the order to finish her. Therefore, Kim Pal comes out to kill her. But just then, Cheney teleports and disappears from there. Grandmother sees all this and says, what did he do to my Cheney? How did she disappear? Then she calls her, but the call does not connect. She tells a boy to find her location. So he says, ma'am, to grandmother, because of which grandmother suspects that man is not the one she knows. Therefore, grandmother calls him and he is in the office. Then that fake man comes to her room. She is actually Ho-ran. She asks grandmother about the eternity child. Grandmother says he has died. She says, speak the truth. Otherwise, I can make you feel hell while alive. Grandmother says, do you think my life was very easy? All those innocent children died because of me. The punishment for my sins was given to my children. The last 20 years have been no less than hell for me. She says while leaving, if that child has truly died, then bring his body. Otherwise, you haven't seen the real hell. In the next scene, Li Yan tells the head of the church, thank you for coming. We will do the rest of the work ourselves. So he says, but our Messiah had ordered us to do all the work. Li Yan asks, which Messiah? So he says, Kim Pal, doomsday is coming very soon. This fact cannot be denied. Li Yan says, we all have to die one day. Then what is the difference? So the head of the church says, because our Messiah knows when and how doomsday will come. Li Yan says, what is the benefit of knowing so much when we cannot escape from it? He says, you said it right. People like you cannot be saved. But we people of the eternal church can be saved. We have seen a miracle happen with our own eyes, and we know that miracle will definitely help us at the time of doomsday. Li Yan says, what you saw was not a miracle. Rather, just then the things start flying upwards. Seeing this, all the people start praying. The church head tells Li Yan, Messiah Kim Pal has said that today is going to be your end. A car starts falling on him, so Li Yan throws it back with his power. He sees Kim Pal coming from behind. Then a fight starts. On the other side, while practicing her power, Cheney teleports and reaches Li Yan. Li Yan asks her, why have you come here? She goes back and tells Robin, Master's life is in danger. We should help him. She takes Robin there too. Kim Pal starts throwing all the items at those three. Li Yan tries to save them all. Just then, a car is about to fall on him. Seeing this, Cheney hugs Li Yan and disappears. Robin lifts the car and throws it back, then he finds out that Cheney has teleported, taking Li Yan with her. On the other side, we see Cheney and Li Yan at a snowy place. Cheney's neck has been cut. Seeing this, Li Yan starts to save her. Cheney looks at the aurora lights and says, this time no mistake was made. This is the real aurora. There are very beautiful lights in the sky. While watching them, Cheney's breath stops, at which Li Yan is shocked and starts calling out to her. On the other side, Kim Pal asks Robin, how did you do all this? Who are you? He says, I am a human. You are a wonderkinder. That's why you have powers. He starts to kill Robin with his power, but he is shocked to see that there is no reaction on him. On the other side, after some time, Cheney regains consciousness. Seeing her, Li Yan faints. In the next scene, seeing Kim Pal's condition bad, Ho-ran and Ju-ran get angry at him. Kim Pal asks Ho-ran, do you think Li Yan will come back to us? She says, where else will he go? Then she remembers a flashback when he used to be closed in that lockup. I used to show him fishes in his lockup, which made him happy because I liked his smile very much. In the next scene, Cheney and Robin bring Li Yan to his house because he is unconscious. While removing his shirt, she is shocked to see many marks on his body. Cheney thinks, who knows what conditions he has passed through. Then she starts cleaning his face. Just then, in unconsciousness, he takes his mother's name and says while crying, I am feeling scared, don't leave me. Seeing him crying, Cheney also becomes emotional. She then cleans his face with a tissue and says, "You have become a good human without a mother. This is a very big thing." When Lee Yan regains consciousness, he sees that Chae-ni had put pads on the feet of the table and chairs so that there would be no sound when they fall. He reads her note, "Take care of yourself, I will come back soon." Her cigarettes and some food items are on the table, which Lee Yan looks at after picking them up. In the next scene, Lee Yan comes to the office. Chae-ni, Robin, and Seon are right there with him. Seeing them, he starts going for outdoor work, so those three also follow him. He says, "I will not help you people." Chae-ni says, "Even so, you help us because we are a team. Therefore, you help us." Then Lee Yan teaches them, "Try to understand what triggers your power and when it doesn't work." Now, to find out about Robin and Seon's power, he tells Seon to make Robin angry. He held both of their hands. Seon starts lying, because of which his hand sticks to Lee Yan's hand, due to which Lee Yan screams in pain. Then those three start fighting. Just then, suddenly Lee Yan starts seeing fishes in that room. Ho-ran says to him, "Why is there so much noise here and why are you with these people?" Upon coming to his senses, Lee Yan realizes Ho-ran has come there. He goes out to talk to her. Ho-ran asks him, "Have you come to find the Eternity Child? Why are you with these nobodies? Why didn't you come to us? Because my thinking does not match yours." She asks, "Are you saying this because of Kim Pal?" Lee Yan asks, "Do you still live with all of them?" She says, "Yes, because we are a family. Papa made us." Lee Yan asks, "How can you call that man your papa?" She says, "He is searching for the eternal child to make us better." He says, "If this is your opinion, then stay in such a delusion." She says, "If you stay with these nobodies, you will die." Then she attacks those three with an insect. So Lee Yan saves them and starts strangling Ho-ran with his power. So she runs away, because of which all the insects also leave. Then Chae-ni asks while applying ointment on Lee Yan's face, "Why did that girl come here?" So he says, "She had come to see whether I have found the Eternity Child or not. That child can never die because his heart doesn't stop beating. I want to find him before everyone else, but I don't understand. What if I put him in trouble? It is better for him to remain hidden." Chae-ni says, "Then find him and ask him yourself. I have found you. Now, do you want to come forward or stay hidden?" Lee Yan says, "I think he has died." She says, "You said he cannot die." So Lee Yan says, "He dies and comes back to life again, just as you come back to life again." She says, "No, I regained consciousness after nearly dying." Lee Yan says, "I had seen it myself. You had died. Then suddenly you regained consciousness. I think you have his heart. It is not possible for it to be otherwise." He says, "Your grandmother authorized those experiments 20 years ago. It is possible that something like this happened." She says, "Did my grandmother truly authorize all that?" Lee Yan says, "The one giving money to Dr. Ha was your grandmother herself." Then Chae-ni comes home and asks her grandmother, "Did you have my heart transplant done 20 years ago?" Grandmother says, "Why are you asking this?" She says, "I had died, but after a little while I came back to life. I thought I had fainted, but no, I came back to life after dying. Why am I like this? What was the surgery that took place?" Then we see in a flashback the director of that lab. When he is taking all the children out, he sees the Eternity Child buried under a stone. The stone had fallen on his eyes. Grandmother says that child had died, but after a little while he came back to life. Therefore, the director and I decided that it was better for him to die. People would misuse him because of his power. Therefore, we transplanted his heart in place of your heart. Chae-ni feels very bad. She becomes depressed and goes out. She was walking without looking. Therefore, Lee Yan, seeing her, keeps removing all the obstacles in her path. She sits in one place and starts crying. Just then, it starts raining, so Lee Yan holds an umbrella over her with his power and keeps getting wet in the rain himself. In the next scene, the church head tells the people, "Today, our Messiah is coming here." Then Kim Pal comes there and performs his magic, by which all the people start believing in him. Outside, people are making preparations for Christmas. In the next scene, Lee Yan is doing his work. Just then, there is a knock outside. He looks, and Chae-ni has arrived. Sounds come from her stomach due to hunger, but there is nothing at Lee Yan's house. Therefore, he takes her to the market. While returning, she says, "I am not understanding anything. What is right and what is wrong? But I know how soft-hearted my grandmother is. She just had to take that decision under compulsion. Should I be grateful to my grandmother that she saved my life? But do I even have the right to remain alive? Someone else's heart beats inside me. After knowing this, how will I feel like living?" Lee Yan says, "I too did not choose this life by my own will. In the same way, whatever is happening with you, there is no fault of yours in it. Therefore, don't think too much." She says, "Forgive me. Because of me, you will never be able to meet your friend." Then they go to Lee Yan's house, so Robin tells them, "Your grandmother herself has come and brought food for you." Seeing so much food, Chae-ni starts crying. Then she goes to grandmother and says, "I know what you did was wrong. Even so, I cannot leave your side. I will now try to spend my life with decency, but it will take me some time." Grandmother happily looks at the lunch boxes, seeing they are empty. Chae-ni says, I was very hungry. Therefore, I ate all the food. Grandmother says, it is a very good thing. Then Chae-ni and Robin shift to Li Yan's house so that he doesn't feel alone. In the next scene, while practicing teleporting, Chae-ni drinks coffee, because of which she starts teleporting. She goes teleporting from place to place. After coming back, she also takes Li Yan with her, but as soon as she leaves his hand, she disappears again. Then she goes to get him, but while running towards him, she faints again. This happens several times. Exhausted, Li Yan comes home by walking. He sees she is cooking something. Robin and Sion are doing decorations. He comes and asks them the reason, so she says, your birthday is coming. Therefore, we have started celebrating in advance. Now we will always stay with you because we want you to always remain happy. Then she comes out of the shop with a cake, and Li Yan is waiting for her outside. She says happily, you have come to get me. Then she asks him about his mother. That day, in the state of unconsciousness, you were calling out to your mother. He says, I don't know anything about my mother. My memory was lost from that experiment. I don't even know her real name. She says, whatever has happened with you and your friends, I think it happened because of me. Li Yan says, there is no such thing. She says, you are my real master, therefore I will always remain loyal to you. I don't give my whole life, but I name a part of it to you. He says, one doesn't trust people so easily. You spend your life alone. If you want to make someone a part of your life, you should have so much courage that you can put your life at stake for them. She says, supporting someone is not as difficult as it seems to you. One just has to stand with them. Why does it seem so difficult to you? He says, because people can go against you at any time. Then he pricks a needle in her neck and makes her unconscious. Then he calls Dr. Ha and sends Chae-ni to them because his deal was that they would give him information about his mother. Those people give Li Yan a file and leave with Chae-ni. Now Sion, watching this while hiding, runs away. On the other side, to make people believe in him, Kim Pal helps a disabled child to walk with his power in the church, by which people say emotionally, this is a miracle. The church head collects donations from everyone. That officer sent by Chae-ni is also there, who gives them an update. The church people's plan is something else. In the next scene, after bringing Chae-ni to the lab, Dr. Ha tells them to give a dose of unconsciousness so that she cannot teleport away. But before that, Chae-ni sits up. Dr. Ha tells them to give the injection. Chae-ni asks, why have you kidnapped me? So Dr. Ha says, you have our thing. We just want your heart. You are not worthy of it. Chae-ni checks her pocket, so she finds a packet of coffee, which she quickly eats and disappears. On the other side, Li Yan is sitting in his room looking at that file. He remembers that Dr. Ha had made a deal with him. If you bring the Eternity Child to me, then I will tell you about your family. Li Yan is looking at his mother's photo attached to it. Just then, Chae-ni teleports and arrives there. She grabs Li Yan's collar and asks, why did you do this to me? He says, I will not apologize to you. She says, so this is why you were helping us? If this heart was not with me, would you not even help me? Li Yan says, yes. She says, come with me and fix everything. If I go there again, I will not be able to come back alive. Go and finish all of them. Tell me, you yourself put these coffee packets in my pocket, right? Why did you hand me over to them? While crying, she teleports again and reaches the church, while Li Yan also becomes emotional and starts crying. Chae-ni has run out of coffee. Dr. Ha hits something on her head and makes her unconscious. When she regains consciousness, she sees that they have tied her. Dr. Ha gives instructions. She should not be fully conscious. Dr. Ha tells Chae-ni, your grandmother gave me big lectures about what I did with innocent children, and she herself turned out just like me. Chae-ni says, don't compare my grandmother with yourself. She realizes her mistake, but you people don't have even a bit of realization. He says, you can save many people's lives by sacrificing your life, but will your grandmother let this happen? She is only concerned with you. She doesn't care about others. But you are not so important that such a rare heart should be given to you. In the next scene, Chae-ni thinks, will others really benefit from my dying? Just then, Ju Ran, by controlling her mind, says, it is good for you to die. Therefore, you die happily. In the next scene, grandmother and the city lab director come to meet Chae-ni. But the servant says, the director is abroad, therefore, go back to your house. She says, when someone makes an excuse of being abroad, it means he is in the hospital. Just then, the officer calls grandmother and tells her, I have seen the city director outside the church. Grandmother immediately leaves. On the other side, Seon tells Robin about Chae-ni being kidnapped and also that Li Yan is mixed in with the church people. Robin becomes worried. Li Yan packs his belongings and starts leaving his house. Just then, Robin arrives and asks him about Chae-ni. He does not tell him anything, so he starts hitting him. Just then, Chae-ni's grandmother calls Li Yan to meet. He then goes to Chae-ni's house. Grandmother places a lot of food in front of Li Yan and tells him, Chae-ni had told me you are a wonderkinder. Forgive me. I have called you here to apologize to you because after you go, I will not get a chance for this. Therefore, I have called you for a meal. This will not compensate for what happened to me, but I can at least do this much. Li Yan says, you said it right. Only feeding a meal cannot compensate. He stands up to go. Grandmother says, where's my Chinese? Did you hand her over to Dr. Ha? I will not ask you to save her. I will definitely do what I can for her. Li Yan says, maybe it is too late now. She says, it is not so. My girl does not give up so easily. You just tell me her location. Then, seeing Li Yan leaving, Robin goes behind him and says, will you not go to save Cheney? Then he remembers a flashback that he had told Cheney's grandmother. I had made this deal to find my mother. I thought that by finding mother, a little life would come into my lifeless existence. Therefore, I became selfish. Grandmother crying grabs his hand. Now standing there, Li Yan calls grandmother, I will need some people. Grandmother says arrangements will be made. Then Li Yan gets all the info about the church from City Hall. After which, he makes a plan after seeing the construction map. How can we take Cheney out from there? Then, according to the planning, people are protesting outside the church. At the same time, these three reach inside the church through the sewage line. Cheney asks Dr. Ha, why is this old man lying here? So he says, because we are going to give your heart to him. She says, you had said that if I give my heart, you will save the world with it, but you are giving my heart to this man. He says, this is exactly what happens in this world. Fraud and deceit are a part of this world. She says, you have trapped me by telling a lie. Trapped me. Why should I give my life for an old man? He says, because you are useless. She says, who said I am useless? I am my grandmother's whole world. I am Robin's best friend. Dr. Ha is about to take out her heart, but before this, Li Yan reaches with the other two. Cheney starts crying after seeing him. She then tells Li Yan, have you realized your mistake? He says, these two and your grandmother were pressuring me, therefore I had to come. She says, I don't want to talk to you, go away. Just then, Li Yan comes close to her and kisses her. Cheney is shocked. Just then, Kim Pal and Ho Ran arrive, so these three stand in front to fight them. After this, Robin places his hand on Kim Pal's hand. As soon as he starts to use his power, nothing happens. Kim Pal slaps him and says, useless people like you will stop a wonderkinder, and then starts to use his power again. But this time, Robin takes his hand in his own and starts squeezing it, after which a fight occurs. Li Yan sees that child again. He tells him to save him. Just then, Ho Ran, coming behind him, says, everything was ruined because of you. You are the reason for all this. Our parents had left us. Only Papa was everything for us. Li Yan screams to silence her, due to which all the items there start breaking. Cheney then places her hand on Li Yan's shoulder. So he sees a child who tells him, now everything is fine, you can stop. He tells Cheney, I wanted to save him, but I killed him. Cheney cleans his tears and says, you were not the reason for all that. Calm down, otherwise we all will die. Just then, he falls down. So Cheney asks, what happened to you? He says, you take those two and go away. She says, absolutely not. We will go together. Then she drinks coffee and grabbing all of their hands, teleports away. But Seon's foot sticks. Therefore, he remains there. Cheney brings them inside the church. Therefore, she starts hiding Li Yan there. Just then, Robin tells her, grandmother has sent us here for your help. She says, you take the master and go. I will bring Seon. Cheney looks inside a room. Dr. Ha is saying to the city director, we don't have the eternity child for you, but this injection is also very powerful. With this, your new cells will start forming. He tells his guards, if anything happens to me, kill everyone present here. After this, he tells Dr. Ha to give the injection. As soon as the injection is given, he becomes young again and says while standing on his feet, I have become perfectly fine. I am feeling very powerful. Now you see what I will do? But at the same time, his condition reverts. His heart starts beating fast. He says, it seems the effect of the serum has finished. Put in more serum. Dr. Ha says, I have already given you all the doses. He says, even so, do something and save my life. I don't want to die yet. I want to live more. Just then, his breathing stops and his face starts burning and decomposing. Cheney is shocked. Ju Ran, by controlling the minds of the guards, sends them away. Then she asks Dr. Ha, now what to do? He says, this experiment was successful on white mice. Maybe they were older and sick. That's why this happened with them. But we can still fix everything. But for that, we need that girl's blood. He gives the order to put the city director's body in the chemical tank. Outside, hearing all this, Cheney runs. But due to hitting something, a noise occurs, and those inside find her. Kim Pal comes out to catch her, but she teleports away. Dr. Ha tells Kim Pal to catch her. Ju Ran says her life is in danger. Her heart can turn to stone. So Dr. Ha says, in life, we have to take such decisions. Whether you have to die defeated by pain or live, this will be your decision. He comes out, so Ju Ran follows him. Seeing his condition, she says, I am going. You stay right here. He says, absolutely not. In the future, don't take my side in front of Papa. Then he shows her an earring. Papa gave this to me so that you cannot control our minds with your power. Hearing this, she is shocked, meaning Papa does not trust her. He says, just keep quiet and perform your responsibility and don't misunderstand Papa. Only he can do something for us. Chai-ni, coming in front of the people in the church, tells them, what is the benefit of giving money to these people? They can give you nothing. No doomsday is going to come. Use your minds. Stand up from here and go home. Just then, Ju Ran, by controlling everyone's minds, tells them to catch Chai-ni. Therefore, they all go after her. Li Yan, taking her out of the crowd, says, you go away from here with Robin. I will deal with everyone here. She says, I will not go. I don't want only you to be praised because I am not one of those who run away. After which, Li Yan starts running from there, taking her and Robin. On the other side, Seon sees some preparation happening inside that lab. He looks while hiding, so those people were taking something away. Ju Ran tells Ho Ran, our doomsday plan has to be started. Liberation will begin then. Ho Ran says, you call drowning people in chemicals liberation? After that, some conversation happens between the two. Ju Ran tells her the plan and sends her away. In the next scene, Chae-ni comes out with Li Yan and Robin, so Kim Pal arrives and starts fighting with Li Yan. He tells Chae-ni to take Robin and go. After leaving him, you come back. He then tells Kim Pal, let's finish everything before her arrival. A fight happens between them. Kim Pal says to him, by giving this girl to Papa, both of us can remain alive. Your condition is also worsening with time. He says, there is no benefit in staying alive by killing someone. Anyway, Dr. Ha himself is responsible for this condition of ours. You kill me, otherwise I will kill you. Both use their power, causing a blast. Chae-ni arrives there again, but she does not see Li Yan, but she finds Seon. He tells her the planning of the church people. They are going to drown everyone in chemicals. This is exactly what they are calling doomsday. She is shocked. In the next scene, Ju Ran sees Kim Pal. He is taking his last breaths. He tells her, Papa will be angry with me, and then dies. In the church, everyone says, our Messiah has died. Everyone starts crying. In the next scene, everyone starts attacking Chai-ni. Her coffee had run out.
Therefore, she could not disappear. But just then, her grandmother arrives with some people. They have a horn by whose sound everyone stops. Chae-ni hugs her grandmother.
In the next scene, Li Yan goes to Dr. Ha. He says to him, I thought you had gone to meet your mother. Li Yan asks, why did you perform those experiments on us? He says, whenever something big happens in the world, its start is always from a small greed or jealousy. Sometimes it starts with the small children. We needed small children for our experiment. You too were one of those children. Therefore, don't blame me. If you have to blame, blame your luck. Small sacrifices have to be made to do something big. This is exactly the law of nature. Li Yan asks, so killing humans is a small sacrifice? Dr. Ha says, out of all the children, only 5 got power. Among them, only 1 could become the Eternity Child, which gave me an idea. If I experiment on more people, the chances of there being an Eternity Child will also increase. This is their plan, which Ho-ran had gone to execute. Li Yan asks, are you truly going to do this? 20 years ago, so many children died because of this experiment. And now you will again kill more people for the Eternity Child? He says, dead people never change history. Those who stay alive change it. Give that girl to me. Both of us together will make a new world. Li Yan says, I used to think, can I take your life? Just then, many people point guns at him. Dr. Ha says, I did not expect this from you. All those bullets come near Li Yan and stop. He makes a gesture so those bullets start hitting those same people. One bullet also hits Dr. Ha. Ju Ran, seeing this, runs towards them while crying. Just then, a blast occurs. Chae-ni, seeing this, teleports to Li Yan in worry. She starts searching for Li Yan among all the people, but she does not find him. On the other side, Ju Ran sees Dr. Ha's last breaths. She tries her best to save him, but he dies, due to which Ju Ran vows to take revenge. She calls Ho-ran and asks about the plan. She says, I am coming back there. Ho-ran asks her about Kim Pal, so she says he will not be able to come. Therefore, I am sending someone else. Right there in the lab, the old man Sung Moo comes dragging Li Yan near the door. Then, after breaking the door, he tells him, when you were a child, I could not help you. But today you can run away from here. Go, live in the open air. But just then, Ho-ran gives him an order after taking Li Yan's mind into her control. On the other side, Chae-ni tells her grandmother and the people what is their plan. Just then, Ju Ran arrives and takes everyone under her control. Officer Jun Mo points a gun at grandmother. Chae-ni understands that she has controlled everyone. Therefore, she says, why are you doing this? She says, first I lost my brother. Then Papa, you too feel this pain. Saying this, She tells the officer to fire at grandmother, but Chai-ni teleports, taking grandmother away. On the other side, a parade is taking place at City Hall. Therefore, many people are gathered. Seon's wife and daughter are also there. Therefore, he comes there and tells everyone, go to your respective homes quickly. Trouble is coming. But no one believes him. Everyone considers him mad. In the next scene, Chai-ni is searching for those trucks with Robin. Just then, she sees Lee Yan, and she is very happy. But he is under Ho-ran's control. Therefore, he throws Robin away. Then, he is about to throw a car at Chai-ni. So Robin comes in front of her. Robin tells him, I am feeling very angry at this act of yours. He says, you will not be able to harm me at all. Chai-ni sees a speaker lying there, so she goes to pick it up, but Lee Yan catches her by the neck. Chai-ni then teleports away, taking Lee Yan. There, Ju-ran's power does not work. Therefore, he recognizes Chai-ni and asks, what happened? She slaps him and says, I thought I would die. You were squeezing my neck so hard. Lee Yan hugs her. There, Ju-ran, seeing her attack fail, gathers all the people by controlling them. Everyone goes after Robin. Just then, Chai-ni also arrives there with Lee Yan. On the other side, Seon, after locking his wife and daughter inside the house, comes out. Then those four together fight everyone. Then Seon sees that Ju-ran is controlling everyone while standing on the roof. Therefore, he goes there and engages her in talk. But Ho-ran comes and hits him, throwing him down. Then Ju-ran starts to faint because she had used her power excessively. Ho-ran handles her. She tells her both Kim Pal and Papa have died. Ho-ran says, now we finish this game. I don't want to lose you. She says, I will kill everyone. This is my wish. On the other side, due to Ju-ran's power weakening, her control over the people ends. Therefore, people start behaving normally. Chai-ni goes to Lee Yan, so he asks her, did the chemical plan fail or not? She says, we cannot stop it. He asks, what are you saying? So she comes close to him, stabs him with a knife, and says, when the fireworks happen, the sky will look very lovely. I have never seen fireworks until today. Then she removes the knife and says, goodbye, my friend. She then kisses him. Just then, Ju-ran, seeing both kissing from above, tells one of her companions, kill Chai-ni. He goes straight and stabs a rod into Chai-ni's stomach. Lee Yan immediately kills that man and handles Chai-ni. But just then, the real Chai-ni arrives. Then it is found out that the girl who stabbed Lee Yan with a knife was Ho-ran. From above, Ju-ran is shocked to see this. Ho-ran gives her life in front of Lee Yan. Seeing this, Ju-ran is shocked. Just then, a big balloon comes on which music is playing. All the people come out to see it. The church head says, you people cannot stop it. Doomsday will surely come. Chai-ni says, so, this was their real plan. There is chemical in that balloon on which a time bomb is attached. An idea comes into Chai-ni's mind. She tells Robin, throw me and Seon up. Seon will help me up. After that, he will go from there. Then I will teleport, taking this balloon. Lee Yan stops her, but she does not stop. Then those two climb onto that balloon. Chai-ni then tells Seon to go down. After that, Chai-ni teleports, taking those balloons. Somewhere far away, the sound of fireworks is heard and lights are seen. Grandmother thinks, when will Chai-ni return? But she does not return. Many days pass. Whatever happened that night leaves the people's minds. Only Seon's daughter remembers everything. She had seen those four helping everyone from inside the window. Therefore, she tells her dad, you are a hero. So Seon starts laughing. On the other side, Chai-ni's grandmother, while waiting for her every day, says, will my Chai-ni truly come back? Lee Yan, Robin, and Seon, all three miss Chai-ni. Then, after some days pass, those people make an empty grave for Chai-ni so that her soul gets peace and she doesn't wander. After that, Chai-ni's grandmother feeds food to all the people there. She was serving food to everyone. Just then, someone in a hoodie comes and starts eating quickly. Grandmother feels this person has come from far away. Therefore, she quickly starts putting food in the plate. She asks, so much food was prepared today? Who died? Hearing her voice, grandmother is shocked. She removes the hoodie. Robin and Seon also quickly arrive. She then tells them, I have come back with great difficulty because I took those balloons very far. I didn't even have money. But why are you feeding everyone? Grandmother is happy and says, thank God my girl is safe and sound. She then hugs her. In the next scene, Lee Yan comes running. Chai-ni is waiting for him. Both smile. He asks, why did you take so long, huh? She says, I have come by hiding without a ticket. Did you miss me a lot? He says, no, I was happy there was no one to bother me. Then she hugs him. Lee Yan smiles. In the last scene, those four are roaming together in black dresses because they all work at City Hall. Then right here, the drama ends.